Hi there, I'm Pastor Jody, and welcome back again to the Prayer Project.
Hi, I'm Brogan. Thank you so much for joining us again for another week of the Prayer Project podcast. Each week we're delving into the Bible to learn what it has to teach us about prayer, and then offer some creative ways to pray relating to that, and then offer some ideas to pray about this week.
Yeah, and if you're wondering where we are, we're not in a closet or we're not hidden away in a deep, dark dungeon. We're in a prop area in the church, downstairs, and even around us, surrounded. There's parts that are going to be used for a night in Bethlehem coming up in December. Everything from the fruit market to scrolls. We were just looking through some stuff.
Yep.
So this is, believe it or not, this is the 9th week of the Prayer Project. Feels like we just began this, but we're continuing on. And this week we are returning to the model that Jesus gave of how to pray. The model of how to pray.
Yeah, and that model is the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
In Matthew 6:9-13, it says this: "Pray then like this: Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, and your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we have also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil."
Yeah, and so Jesus began, we talked about last week, by telling us to pray, recognizing who God is, that he's our Father in heaven, and then to pray that his name would be hallowed, or honored, or praised, lifted up. Today, we're going on to the next part where Jesus talked about that God's kingdom would come, and that it would come here on earth, just as it is in heaven, that God's will would be done right here.
Yeah. And so the first thing Jesus talks about is God's kingdom. Now, what is God's kingdom all about? Well, here on earth, a kingdom is a place where a king rules. And Jesus is telling us and saying to us that we should pray that God's rule will come here on earth.
Yeah. And for God's will to be done on earth.
Yeah.
In the same way that it's done in heaven. Because we know in heaven, things are right. And God says we should pray that would begin to happen here.
Yeah. Eventually, Jesus' kingdom will come, or Jesus will return, and God's kingdom will come and be physically on earth. But Jesus is talking about God having rule on earth in people like us right now.
Yeah, we actually talked about this earlier, that when we first became believers, both of us would read that and think, well, this is when Jesus returns. But this isn't about that. It's not about when Jesus comes back and a physical kingdom is set up. Jesus taught that his kingdom was at hand, that he had come actually to rule in us, to be our king, so we're going to be praying for Jesus to be the king in our hearts, in my heart, in your heart, and also for other people to get to know him that way as their king and their Lord.
Yeah, and as we pray for that, God actually transforms our heart to love the things that he loves and to see the things that hurt his heart, and to kind of give us a glimpse of what God sees. And Jesus is telling us to pray for that, to pray that we'll be able to have God's heart.
Yeah, can you imagine beginning to love, having a heart for people who are in need, or maybe sin in our lives that we don't really feel moved by. God starting to allow us to see how important those things are to change. Well, that's great, Brogan. And that can be our mission for this week, to pray daily for both those things, for God to be king in our lives, but also, and the lives of people around us, but also for God to begin to change our hearts, to care about the things that he cares about. And I guess that is our mission this week. And we will see you next week.